Okay, so before we get into my actual presentation, I wanted to talk about the Ellie boxes again. One thing that she told us last year, she didn't care what we did with the box. We could use whatever kind of wood we wanted to use, whatever kind of joinery. She didn't care. She didn't know anything about that. She didn't care if it was made out of in-grain wood, you know, like a in-grain cutting board or something like that. She just didn't know what we were capable of. So she found out, and she loved every box that we had. So I wanted to talk just a little bit about that. This is my carcass for the first one that I'm going to make. And I used a miter lock jig and router bit from Rockler. I've never used it before. I bought it about a year ago. How many of y'all have used one? 2? Well, I had never used one. It does not play well with pine. But 2 pieces of wood here, put them together like that right there. Just a little hit, well, make a liar out of me. It's still not, well, that's a tough one. But it's for a glue up, that's going to be rock solid. Thing about this is this is one of our boards from that Nick Stewart Lumber donated to us to use for the Ellie boxes. I did not joint this board. I did not plane this board. It is just a regular board, has not been milled. It's not co-planar, it's not straight, nothing. But there's no glue. There's no glue on here. And I'll pass it around if you want me to, if you want to look at it. And it's that square right there with no glue, and it's just been pressed together with clamps.
What kind of router is that?
It's a miter lock.
Do you have it?
I don't have it with me, no.
Well, I'm going to give you a C at the best for this presentation.
But I mean, for a board that is just ragged, for a board that is ragged, has not been milled at all, that impressed me. I mean, but if you want.
D.
Solid.
I tried to use one of those. It's real finicky.
It is. It is.
Every joint has its limit.
That's right. That's right. But it truly is when you lock it together. It'll make your glue up so easy. And
Yeah, that's the big thing. Gluing up a miter,
yeah.
not having to have a special clamp, just regular clamps on each side, because it won't slip.
That's
But-
Either way.
that makes a difference.
But I mean, you know, I could hand this to somebody and fall apart too. But anyway, I'm not saying to use that type of joinery. I'm just telling you it's out there. You can use finger joints. You can do dovetails, whatever you want to do. There's no butt joint. There's no limitations. Whatever's easiest for you. But this is an opportunity to build your skills for that sort of thing. I'm still building my skills.
We're still building. We're all building.
So my presentation is that in March 17th of this year, was it? Okay, March 17th, family member out in Odessa. She was in Florida. She's pregnant. She started having problems. They sent her home to Midland. Her doctor said, you have an escalated type of preeclampsia called HELP. You need to go to Midland and this baby needs to be born. She didn't agree with that, but her husband and her went to Midland. 25 weeks into her pregnancy, they take the baby, C-section. 4 days later, the baby dies. So this is my presentation, is this box that I built. I called my sister and I told her, I said, I can do this if you want me to. And she said, no. The next week, my nephew called me and he said, build a box. So I went out, put on paper, drew it up, built this as the prototype. It was 6 inches tall. And once I saw it at 6 inches tall, I knew it was too tall. So I cut it down to 4 1/4. And this is basically what it looks like. I had a profile here, it's 3 steps. And then I made this profile as a 45 degree. And then I think you can see the shading right there. I wanted this to be kind of like a raised panel cabinet door. And on all the sides here. But I had this profile and I had this profile that was different. Well, my tools are benchtop tools. They're not the best in the world. So I went to Gary, to Stanley's shop and used his tools to joint and plane and get it all flat. And then 2 days later, I went to Gary's shop with the wood that I was actually going to use. And I went out there and I threw the wood down on his table. To me, it was going to be a simple zit, zit, zit. No, Gary, no.
Gary didn't do something. You went to the wrong shop.
I did. But you know, there were things that I wanted, things that I knew I wanted in this box. I wanted 45 degree miters. I didn't want any dovetails. I didn't want any finger joints because it wouldn't look good. But I knew that Gary had the shooting planes, the shooting boards and everything where we could sneak up on that perfect 45 degree. Stanley came over to my shop yesterday and we were talking about this joint here and he said, you know, me and Gary were talking about 45 degrees and he makes this spline that you put down in there. Well, we used that spline. And he's shown y'all this spline before. But in the middle of a 45 degree angle, that spline right there makes your 45 degree angle solid as concrete. There's a little bit of plan to go along with it. We'll talk about that in a minute. So it went from paper to this right here to this.
That's beautiful.
Wow, beautiful.
I had been buying this wood from Woodcraft. Every time I went in there, they had it right there where you walk by it. You know, that's sinful. They shouldn't do that. And so
It's like Rollins Hardware in Cleaver.
Yeah.
That fudge is right there by the checkout.
exactly, yeah.
Restaurants.
Well, I would walk out of there every time with at least one of these boards. And I knew I was going to make a box out of them. I just didn't know it was going to be for this type of the deal. So each one of these was a separate board, okay? I mean, it wasn't one single deal where you could do wraparound grain. So I took each one of these boards, I put them on the table saw, and again, I thought it was zip, 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 zip. He started putting them out there like an artist and looking at them and then shuffling them around like somebody playing dominoes. And I was watching him do that and I thought, okay, well, the wizardry had started. And we talked about the measurements. He looked at my measurements and we cut them, cut to 45 degrees. He said, what are you going to do with the panels? I said, I want them to look like raised panel doors for cabinetry. He said, I got the bit for that. So anyway, that's what we did. And you know, he would lay it out there, the different boards, and he said, you like that? I said, yeah, I like it fine. He'd move it, how do you like that? I said, yeah, I like that too. So he gave me a lot of options to look at. He gave me design to look at. He even gave me math lessons. Yeah. And I read a tape measure, but not like Gary. I know that he was getting exasperated with me. But anyway, I had the sides and I had the bottom, but I did not have the top. And he said, well, bring the top next Thursday and we'll do the top. Well, again, the top was quite a bit bigger than this here, but I thought it was going to be we're going to use this, we're going to use this. No, that's not what we did. I don't know if y'all can see it, but if you'll look, you'll see the grain coming in from this side right here, right? Well, it came like this, and then it came way down here. I didn't think anything about that. He said, what we need to do is we need to center it so this grain here comes around and it exits over here, and it's, what's the word I want? Symmetrical, thank you. He said it's the difference between looking good and wow. And once he drew it off for me and I saw it, I said, I understand what you're talking about. Looks good. So anyway, we put in, thank you. We put in a lot of time on this box. He showed me a lot of design on how to build a box. This is my first really nice box. So anyway, super proud of it. They're going to take possession of it next Monday. And
What did you finish it with?
Odie's oil.
I love Odie's.
I'd never used it before. Before I got there, Gary had taken 3 pieces of wood and he used Odie's oil on one. I don't remember what the other 2 were. Osmo, I think, was one of them. Or Rubio.
No, not really. Masters.
Okay.
Urethane.
Yeah.
One. The Czar.
Okay. So anyway, I looked at them. I fell to the Odie's oil and I said, that's it. That's what I want right there. And I love it. I think it's really great. On a typical, I did a lot of studying before I offered to do this to my sister. And I didn't know, but you make the bottoms, you screw the bottom onto the sides. And that way, nothing escapes. I don't know that Easton's ashes will ever go in here. I think it's probably more of a memorial box than it is an urn. But if they do put them in there, that'd be great. And then Jerry Stringer made the signage for me. Yeah, it's got feet on it for not scratching up whatever they put it on. But anyway, this is it.
Very nice.
Thank y'all. There's not a whole lot of difference between the size of this one and this one, but going from this profile to this profile versus keeping everything the same just made it all kind of flow together. So, that is crotch walnut, highly figured. Yeah. Well,
I can see why you bought it.
oh, I love it. I do. So.
Beautiful though.
One of the adjustments that I've had to do for him, if you look at his shadowed areas, they measure 3/4 of an inch. We made a protest piece. I said, the profile on my router bit will change if we make a 3/16 adjustment. 3/16 of an inch. Made a difference in what that box looked like as compared to what. So minor differences make major changes.
So one thing that I wanted to say, and I forgot about it since he said that, we cut to 45 degrees, and then we got the shooting board out, got the plane, and started planing it. Well, the hole that we had made for this started getting smaller. So as we did that, when we got it to where it glued up good, then he gave me a block plane and he said, okay, start working on that. So I had to plane this and fit it to drop down into the hole to get that rock, concrete, hard, working on the corners there.
shoot, before you use the plane and the shooting board, though, what did I do?
What did he do?
Sorry.
I mean, that's the first thing he
You
did.
can't use it.
Yep. And it was already sharp. So
Where's the hole?
the hole is inside this 45 degree
How do you get that?
with a saw blade. He popped out a flat tooth blade and just made a, what would you call it?
A curve?
Yeah, I made a curve or a dado, a small dado inside the 45. You can't see it. I can take this off if I had a screwdriver and you could see it. But just pretend that screw is it. It's sitting right there like that inside that 45 degree miter.
That's all you need, just a little rock.
But it's the same thing.
Right.
It's the same thing as that right there. And it,
Except with mine, you can hand fit it with a shooting board.
Yeah.
yeah,
Off of a router pin, can't be fitted,
yeah.
other than with the router fit itself.
Chicken coop can't be anything sharp either.
So, no. Yeah, the top is glued on and the bottom is screwed on. So if they want to access this box, they have to take these screws out. And that's typically how an urn is made if it's a box. So
Top is not, you can't take it off.
with a hammer.
The edges and the edges of the top and bottom are both rabbited into the side walls of the box itself.
So the side walls actually are a little over 3/4 of an inch. By the time you get to where the top and the bottom mate, it's 3/8. It drops way on down. So anyway, I thank you and I thank Stan. And anyway, this is my presentation.
Fabulous.